You want to know how to prepare for Prime Day, and you can do so by breaking it down into 3 areas. We're going to be talking about how you can optimize your listing, how you can prepare for the increased sales, and then I want to talk a little bit about running deals. So those are the 3 things that you need to be thinking about. There's some areas inside of there, but optimizing your listing, preparing for the increased sales, and we want to talk about running our deals. So to optimize your listing, you can think about this in a couple different ways. One is going to be the on listing optimizations, and the best way to do that is through split testing. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. And the other thing that makes a huge difference is getting more reviews. I'm going to talk about how to do that because that's always a popular topic. Now, there's a lot that you can do to optimize your listing or get your listing ready for Prime Day. But here I just wanted to kind of take the 80-20 rule into account. The 80% or the 20% that's going to make 80% of the difference when you're optimizing your listing. So these are the different things I want to talk about today. So let's start by talking about split testing. Amazon released this pretty cool piece of functionality that lets you A/B test your A+ content right inside of Seller Central. So if you're using A+ content, which if you're not, I recommend that you do so, you can actually test or split test your A/B content right inside of Amazon. They actually give you the results right inside there. You get to see cool graphs like this, where you can see how your conversion rate or units sold has changed. And through that, you can choose which A+ content is better for you. So that's only for the A+ content section, which a lot of you are probably familiar with this, but on lower down on some listings, instead of the product description section, instead it shows you a number of images and different layouts, whereas that's a nice area for people to just give additional information about their product. So that's what I'm talking about with this particular one. Amazon doesn't allow you to split test things like your main images or your price or your title or your bullet points. So there is a tool called Splitly that lets you do so. So you can find it at splitly.com, but what Splitly does is it rotates through new images or a new price for you, a new title, bullet points. You can split test any piece of your listing that Amazon doesn't do. And through that, you can make some great optimizations. Now, as you're thinking about what to split test, I highly recommend that you start with your main image and your price, because those 2 items are what's going to make the biggest difference. Similar to with A+ content, Splitly gives you a readout of how your conversion rates change, how the number of unit sales have changed, and this is a great way to go about optimizing your listings. Before starting to split test, I used to think that I had a good idea of how to really optimize a listing or how to make a listing great. And once I started running split tests, what I realized is it's very difficult to know or to understand what the customer's thinking or what the customer likes or what they're most likely to convert on. And that's why by running a split test, you don't have to know, you just have to come up with a variant to test, and you let the data tell you instead of going after kind of these gut feelings. So the other area I want to talk about as far as improving the conversion rate of your listing or optimizing your listing is reviews. I don't need to tell you all the importance here. Everyone knows how important reviews are. That's why a lot of us shop on Amazon, because it's such a great place to read about products and read the reviews. And the good news is Amazon's made it a lot easier for us to get reviews in just the past 6 months. So they've made some changes to their platform that hopefully you're taking advantage of already, but if not, I strongly encourage you to do so. The 2 different areas that I want to talk about is the Vine program, which used to only be eligible for 1P sellers or these large brands that were selling through Vendor Central. Amazon's opened that up to third-party sellers, so it's now available to anyone using the Seller Central platform as well. Not only that, but it's free right now. We're going to talk a little bit more about it in a second. The second way that Amazon's made it much easier for us is through using the Request a Review button. I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. So to get access to the Vine program, you go to advertising. It's under the Vine section. You can see this arrow right here. You have to have brand registry. You have to have under 30 reviews on your product. You must be using fulfillment by Amazon. If you meet that criteria, you can take advantage of the Vine program. What's really cool about it is right now it's free. So supposedly they're gonna start charging for it later on this summer or later on this year. I know they charge big brands a lot of money for it, but right now it's free. So if you have a new product or less than 30 reviews still, I encourage you to do so. The only cost to you is you just have to give away free units. So how it works is there's these different people that are part of the Vine program. They're Vine reviewers. You may have seen these stamps in different listings before where it says Vine Voice and it says Vine Customer Review of a free product. And what happens is Amazon chooses people who they believe leave unbiased reviews and high quality reviews. They put them in this Vine program, and when you offer your product for free, they can claim it. It gets shipped to their house through the FBA program. They then can go leave a review, and that's how it works. Amazon claims that 99% of the products that you give away end up in a review. I haven't found quite that high, but it is very high, like over 90%. So it is a really good deal and by far the best way to get reviews for a brand new product. After you've started selling, by far the best way to get more reviews is through this request a review button. Amazon rolled this out towards the end of last year. It started rolling out to only a smaller handful of accounts. Now it's available to everyone. And if you go into the order details page, you'll see a little button like this that says request a review. You'll see this for all of the orders that have been processed, and you're eligible to request a review for any product that has been delivered at least 5 days ago, but no more than 30 days. It sends them an email similar to this. So it says, your opinion matters. It asks you to rate this item. You can click on the stars right here, and it takes you to a page where you can then leave a review or just a rating. And this is very effective because with this email, they're not sending it through the typical buyer-seller messaging platform. Instead, it's being sent from Amazon system. So even if they have opted out of the buyer-seller messaging platform, they're still going to get this email. And since it's Amazon sending this email, it's not up to you to creating this content or anything. We know it's fully within the Amazon terms of service, which is a fantastic thing. When I started using this, the results were crazy. The green line right here shows how many reviews I have. So you can see over the past year or two, you can see these relatively smaller trends, right? I'm getting a few reviews. And then as soon as I turn this thing on and start sending out these reviews, the rate at which I'm receiving reviews has just gone through the roof. So this is by far the best way to get reviews for any product that you are selling. I think all sellers will agree with that. This has been a really nice thing for to have Amazon of added because it's much easier for us to get reviews. So the two different areas that I'm talking about, the Vine program if it's brand new, and then this request a review button if you're already selling the product and you're already getting sales. So I mean, actually, after you've gotten any sales, you want to be using this request a review button. Jungle Scout makes the request a review button much easier. I'll show you in a second how we do that. And after we release this functionality, I wanted to see, okay, like, is this really working? Does it help quite a bit? So we analyzed a bunch of ASINs. There was over 9,000 ASINs that we analyzed. Of these, once people started using the request a review button, 95% of them grew the reviews faster, so they got more reviews faster. But what's more crazy is of those, on average, it was 7 times faster review growth. This is a little graph we put together to show this, but the average number of reviews received in a week before they started using this request a review button was 3.6. The average after starting to use this button was 25.9. So literally it's just like this crazy difference. You saw some similar results in the graphs that I was showing for my own product. So hopefully by now you understand kind of the power of this. I see a few questions in the chat box about this. Do you manually press this? Is automation available? That walks me into my demo really nicely. So I'm gonna hop into Amazon Seller Central here. I went into my orders page, so I'm on manage orders. If you do not have the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, you don't see these orange buttons. And let me show you how you go about getting or requesting one of these reviews, okay? So what you'll do is you'll go in and you'll click on the order, click up here, request a review. This one, it's not within the date range, but if it is, then you click request, okay? And then you go back and then you do it again for the next one. This one just arrived or was just placed yesterday, so it was too early. But the ones that have been delivered at least 5 days ago, I can do that. And if I scroll down, I could find one of those. Let me try. This one should have been delivered 5 days ago. Request a review. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. All right, now it's been sent. Now I go back and I have to do it over and over and over. Before there was automation to do this, I was paying a VA to do this every day for me because it was so powerful. She was literally spending a few hours every day because it takes like 5 clicks to send one request a review. So at Jungle Scout, we were fed up with that. It seemed ridiculous that there wasn't an easier way to go about doing this. So now after you've installed the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, you go into Seller Central, you click Jungle Scout, it asks you to be able to have access to this page, you grant it access, then what happens is you have all these orange buttons show up. Now, if I can go through here and I can click just this orange button, instead of like 5 clicks, I can just do 1 click and it will send a review request for this particular order. Or what's better is all you have to do is click this button at the top 1 time. It fetches all the orders on that page. It takes a few minutes, but you can see it's running. There's 97 orders on this page and it's running through them one at a time. So this takes probably a minute or 2 to complete, but you can just let it run in the background. No longer do you have to spend like an hour each day requesting all those different reviews or paying someone to do it. Instead, you just hit that button 1 time, let it run in the background, and it will go through and automatically send all those reviews for you. So a huge time saver. I would call you a little bit crazy if you don't use it, especially because I know probably most of you already have the Jungle Scout extension. So let's move on. Let's talk about the second item of my 3-point checklist of how I'm preparing for Prime Day. Over the years, I've spoken with a lot of people. I've also been involved with a number of Prime Days myself. And there's 2 things that I think you need to prepare for as you're thinking about how or when you're getting increased sales. One, this is making sure that you have enough inventory. And the second one is making sure you have enough PPC budget. As you can imagine, a lot of people will see quite a bit of increased sales for this time period. So because of this, they either run out of inventory or they forget to increase their PPC budgets. And since Amazon's getting like twice the traffic, they don't have enough budget and they run out too early. So let's talk about these a little bit more. The question everyone always asks is, how much are my sales going to increase? What can I plan for? How much extra inventory should I have? And everyone hates this answer, but it does depend. There are some items that sell much better for Prime Day than others, but as a general rule of thumb, last year, Prime Day lasted 2 days, and the sales people were receiving on average were about 2x of what they are right now, or about 3x what they were back in January, because we're already seeing quite inflated sales, okay? Now, this year, I imagine it's even gonna be more than that because sales in general on Amazon are up. But I think what you could plan for is that, as a general rule of thumb, if you're not familiar with it and you don't have an idea of how much extra inventory to order, I think if you had an extra 1 week worth of inventory in stock, specifically for just this sale, so on top of what you normally have, that will cover most scenarios. Now, some of these products just blow up and they sell like 50x what they normally do. But as a general rule of thumb, if this is your first one and you're trying to plan for inventory, that's what I would recommend for you. As far as PPC budgets go, there's kind of 2 different strategies you can think about here, okay? So what happens is Amazon gets a whole bunch of additional traffic on Prime Day. Because of that, all of these PPC campaigns are getting a whole bunch of extra clicks. They're being charged more because they're getting more clicks. Of course, you're probably also getting more sales. But what happens is a lot of people run out of PPC budget by, let's say, lunchtime or midday. So I think there's 2 different strategies you could take into account here. The first strategy is you could just pause your campaign. So the night before Prime Day starts, you could just pause your campaign, go in there the next day, midday or around lunch, and you can get it started then. The good thing about this is the clicks are usually quite a bit cheaper because a lot of people have run out of budget for the day. So Amazon blew through a whole bunch of everyone's budgets early in that day because everything was getting additional traffic and additional clicks. Because of that, the bids are going to be lower in the second half of the day. So you could pause it for the first half and just start it up the second half of the day. The second strategy, which is probably what I would recommend, is to just increase your daily budget, okay? So if you set it to about 2 or 3x what it normally is, that should be enough to cover all of the additional clicks that you're gonna get for that particular day. So remember this, when it comes Prime Day time, either pause it the night before and start at midday, or make sure that you are increasing your budgets 2 or 3x. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the third item on my list, which is deals. Everyone on Amazon is going to be looking for deals. They're going to be looking for the Prime Day lightning deals, but they're also just going to be looking for any other type of deal. Similar to Black Friday, during this time period, people are looking for a discount. They want a deal, okay? So even if you're not taking advantage of the Prime Day lightning deals, I would strongly recommend that you do coupons or promotions, and I'll show you in a second how you go about doing that. So if you want to create a lightning deal, the ones specifically for Prime Day are released a few weeks before Prime Day starts. So after Amazon announces it, you'll be able to find it, but it's located in the same section as what Lightning Deals is. So if you go to advertising, you click on deals, you can see down here that I'm eligible for like a lightning deal. You'll also see in that area that you'll be eligible for the Prime Day lightning deals. I think there's some criteria associated with it, like it has to be FBA, and I think it has to have a minimum of 3 stars and a few things like that. But if you are eligible, you can find it in that section. The cost has varied each year, but it's usually around $200 or $300. It might also vary per category, I kind of forget. So you'll just have to decide if it's worth it to you. I've done a few of these before, and even without doing a Prime Day lightning deal, you can still see a lot of increased sales. But if you don't do it, I strongly encourage you to take advantage of some of the other ways that you can offer a discount to these consumers, because we know that's what they're looking for in these days. To do so, go into the advertising section again, and coupons or promotions are my favorite, but you can also do one of these Prime exclusive discounts if you would like. There are kind of pros and cons of a few different ones here. Promotions, you can do things like buy one, get another one half off, or you can, if you buy 2 of your items, you can get like a 10% discount on it. Specifically with the coupons, I would encourage you to set those up as public and make sure that they're showing on the search results page, because when people are making searches on Amazon and going through the search results, you want them to be able to see that coupon so that they click into your listing, because we know that's kind of what they're looking for that day. So don't feel like you have to run the lightning deals in order to get increased sales during that time period. It's also fine if you just do these coupons or promotions, or could even take advantage of these Prime exclusive discounts. Now, since we're talking about getting deals and how everyone's looking for a deal, whenever we do webinars to help our audience get ready for Prime Day, they always ask us, and I'm sure it's in the chat box right now. Yep, there's one right there. Are you offering Jungle Scout for a discount? Does Jungle Scout have a discount? And since we're in the spirit of Prime Day and offering the discount, we don't normally do this, but we are offering a deal that you can get 50% off the Jungle Scout bundle for your first month. So if you're watching this right now and you do not yet have Jungle Scout, I would strongly encourage you to take advantage of this deal. It is a great deal. We usually don't run deals, so this is a kind of a shorter opportunity for you to take advantage of it. We're not going to leave this up forever. It is kind of time bound, so if you don't have it, this is a great deal for you. You can find it at jscout.co/50. With this particular deal, you're going to get access to the Jungle Scout Chrome extension that we were talking about earlier. You'll also have access to Jungle Scout's web application, which has a whole bunch of different functionality inside of it. Now I can go in there, I can show you some of that functionality now. So you'll get both of those inside of the combo deal. In addition, we have a fantastic support team. They're here for you 24/7, not only to help you with any Jungle Scout questions that you have, but also just general selling on Amazon questions. They're really sharp there, and we love to help whenever we can. So you can find the deal, jscout.co/50. And now it's time to take a little bit of Q&A. So go ahead and drop your questions inside of the chat box. While I wait for those to populate, I'm just gonna hop into Jungle Scout and show you what you're getting when you take advantage of this deal. So first things first, let's take a look at it, jscout.co/50. I'm gonna head over here. And like I said, this is 50% off the bundle, which includes both Jungle Scout and our extension. You get 50% off the first month, so it really is a great deal. The Chrome extension, what it looks like is you not only get the functionality that I showed as far as requesting a review, but you can also use it on really any page where there's ASINs showing up on Amazon. All you have to do is after it's installed, you click it. It shows you all the different items that are available on this page. I get to see things like how well they're selling, so their monthly sales. I can also even see like the historical monthly sales, which is awesome. You can see the revenue, the number of reviews, the seller type. It shows you if it's a good opportunity or not. So this is a great way to just quickly get product information at a glance. Everyone in the chat box, I'm sure, will tell you how much they love Jungle Scout's extension because it's super easy to use and super convenient. And once you become an Amazon seller, want to become one, you always want to know how well everything's selling. The other thing that you're going to get access to with this bundle is all of our functionality inside of Jungle Scout. So this includes a number of different features to help you find products. We have functionality to help you find suppliers. This is really cool. Keyword research functionality. We help you build listings. You can track keywords. We can send out email campaigns through the buyer seller messaging platform, run promotions on your product to a group of over 100,000 shoppers. We have sales analytics in here to help you get some nice reviews and a better understanding of how your products are doing on Amazon, inventory management, an academy. It just goes on and on. So there's a whole lot of value packed into here. So yeah, if you want to take a look at it, I would encourage you to do so. Like I said, you can find it at jscout.co/50. And now it's time to take some of your questions. So for the next 20 minutes or so, I'll answer as many questions as I can to help out here. How should a new seller approach Prime Day? A new seller, I would encourage you to approach it the same way that I was talking about throughout this webinar. So the 3 different things that I've talked about as far as optimizing your listing, preparing for Prime Day with both your inventory as well as your PPC campaigns. And the last thing is running deals. So it's those 3 areas I'd encourage you to prepare in the same way that I encourage everyone to prepare for Prime Day. Danielle, thanks for the kind words. Jungle Scout is a must-have. Dan said, what happens when you run the extension on a page of a product and it does not give you the opportunity score? The extension is only going to give you the opportunity score when you run it on the search results page. And the reason for that is it can't kind of like figure out, there's not enough information for it to decide whether or not it's a good opportunity if it's just looking at one singular product. Now, if you're looking at a search results page, that's more resemblant of like the niche as a whole, and that's enough data for it to help give an opportunity score and understand the overall demand and competition for that product. Hey Greg, with Vine and Request a Review, should you still be doing this with products that take a few weeks to get results? Yes, I think you should. Vine reviewers are pretty kind of mature in how they think about leaving reviews. So even if it takes a few weeks to get results, they'll likely wait a few weeks until they leave the review. As far as the Request a Review, what you can do is you could just filter and only send out the Request a Review 2 or 3 weeks after it's been delivered. So it's actually fairly easy to do. What you can do is you just go here, custom date range. You just set what date range you want. So I would do it starting, say, 2 or 3 weeks in the past, and I would only send it out to those people. Why aren't the Prime exclusive discounts very good? Just in my experience trying them out, I don't think they've really been that beneficial. It puts a little piece of text underneath like the search results that say Prime exclusive or only for Prime members or something like that. But I don't know if people really care about that much. But Vine's only for 8+, right? No, Vine, well, I think what you're talking about is Vine only available for people, 1P vendors using the Vendor Central platform. It used to be. Now it's opened up to all of the third-party sellers. So as long as you have access to Seller Central and you're brand registered, you can get access to it. So yeah, that's why I'm really high on it right now. Does the extension, is there a way to see what our competition did last year on Prime Day in terms of promotions? Not in terms of promotions. You can look at their historical sales, for example, through the Chrome extension, but it doesn't show you whether or not they ran a promotion, just kind of what their sales were that month. Is Prime Day only for FBA sellers, or is it also available for FBM? It is available for both FBA and FBM sellers. So you can't take advantage, I think, of some like the lightning deals and stuff like that, but you still will see additional sales for that day. Is Amazon postponing Prime Day? Yes, they are. Most industry experts agree that it's going to be in September. They haven't officially announced that, but I think there's some credible sources there. So I think you can plan on it in September. Right now, Amazon's having a hard time keeping up with all the additional demand that they're having. I know they originally, after COVID, they announced they were going to hire 100,000 additional employees to help with the additional demand. I just saw a statistic a few days ago that they've already hired an additional 175,000 employees to help work in the warehouses and help fulfill all the demand. And they're still seeing decreased or slower shipping times in some of the products right now. So they're having a very hard time just keeping up with increase of 50%, maybe even closer to 100% right now. So that's why they've postponed Prime Day. Does the extension bulk review work on Vendor Central accounts? Good question. I don't know. As far as I know, the request a review button doesn't exist inside of Vendor Central accounts, but that's something we can look into. Any seller can use Keyword Scout. Yes, if you have access to Jungle Scout, you can use Keyword Scout. So let me hop in here and look at it. This is what it looks like. If not the extension, but the normal Jungle Scout, if you have access to it, then you can use Keyword Scout. It's available for all of North America as well as the EU. There's a whole bunch of awesome pieces of functionality in here, including some brand new stuff that we just released last week. If you haven't yet seen that video, I'd encourage you to do so. You can find it on our YouTube channel. There have been a few questions around training or how to learn about selling on Amazon and things like that. We actually do offer something called the Freedom Builder Bootcamp. What this is a program that runs 10 weeks. It's not only a whole bunch of really high quality videos, but it's also a community. There's worksheets, downloads. It's really kind of everything that we think's important to learn and to understand, as well as to hold you accountable to be successful on Amazon. So if you're interested in the paid training boot camp, you can find it at freedombuilderbootcamp.com. I'd recommend that you check it out if you're interested. I know we've already had a lot of early successes. We just started this kind of at the beginning of this year, and there's already people that have had quite a bit of success on Amazon. So it's always very rewarding to hear those different success stories. D said, does the request a review button work in the UK? Yes, it should work on all marketplaces. Let's see. One says, is Prime Day international or is it just in the US? I know it was at minimum also in the UK last year, but I honestly don't know if it's in some of the other marketplaces or not. I should be able to figure that out through a Google search. Let's see. How can one prep for Prime Day if your ranking has fallen? Honestly, I would prep for it in kind of the same way that I've talked about throughout this webinar. If you're looking at ways to like kind of increase your sales to get your rank back up, usually the easiest way to go about it is to bid more aggressively on your PPC campaigns. That's probably what I recommend for you. I mean, if it's a product that just lost a lot of demand because of COVID, then it's a little bit harder. I know I was speaking to one seller who sells kind of wedding accessories, and since almost all weddings have been canceled due to COVID, that's one of those items that unfortunately just severely dropped in demand. If that's the case, there's not too much you can do about it. But yeah, that's kind of what I recommend. Explain how the email campaign works. How it works is you set up emails to go through the buyer-seller messaging platform. So I can hop in there and take a look at it. What you can do is you can create these automatic campaigns that after an item's delivered to someone's house, you can request a review. That is sent through the buyer-seller messaging platform. So I can take a look at that right here. So this is the messaging platform. I can message people who have purchased from me, and how it works is the Amazon is going to automatically Jungle Scout's going to automatically send the email through your Amazon account, and then it gets forwarded through Amazon's account to the end user. So that is a different setup than what the request a review button is. I've found deliverability better with the request a review, or it just seems like it results in more reviews. But a lot of people choose to run both of them because there's nothing really wrong with running both of them simultaneously. Do the new plans come with email campaigns and the profit looking? Yes. So if you take advantage of any of our new plans or this special offer that we're offering that you can find at jscout.co/50, you get access to our Chrome extension as well as all the functionality that you see in here. So you specifically asked about the profit overview. Yes, you get access to all of that. You'll also have access to the email campaigns. So it's a lot of value packed into there. Hey Greg, the extension says it sells 10 a month, but when I add it to Jungle Scout, it says NA. Probably what's going on here is when you first add a product to the product tracker, if we don't have any data on it yet, it takes 48 hours for it to start to populate. So it starts by showing you 2 days worth of data. So just wait a couple of days and then it'll start to show you the real data there. This one says split testing. I think what they're asking about is kind of some more information, I guess, on how to do the split testing. So the way that you go about doing it is either inside of the A+ Content Manager, and then I click on right here so I can run the split tests. That's just for the A+ content, which let's go ahead and take a look. Hopefully these people have A+ content, we'll see. Yeah, so this area right here is the A+ content. If you look at the product description section, it has a bunch of photos and stuff, then it's the A+ content. So what I just showed you, this is just for split testing this area right here. If you want to split test the image, the price, the title, the bullet points, any of that, then I would recommend Splitly to do so. So you can just find it at splitly.com. That's the best way to go about running split test for the rest of those items. So the photos, price, all that good stuff. Let's see. So it looks like there's one or two questions around errors or things specifically for your particular Jungle Scout account. Feel free to just reach out at us, support@junglescout.com. I don't want to answer kind of like one-off questions for the whole group here, but we'd be more than happy to help you. I will be the first to admit that our just overall ticket volume has been much higher during COVID. So where we used to be able to answer everyone within like the first hour, I think right now it's taking more so like a half day or maybe a full day. So I really apologize for that, but I promise we'll get back to anyone that emails us. Anthony, I appreciate the kind words. One-stop shop, not like those who make you pay excessive amounts for individual features. JS rules. Thank you very much. Can Jungle Scout find out about patented products? Patent research is a very complex thing. Even if you're pretty familiar with the matter, sometimes you have to get really, really technical to see whether or not an item or what parts of an item are patented, what type of patent they have, whether or not you can make small changes or how defensible that patent is. So it's, unfortunately, it's much more challenging than just a kind of like a computer program saying yes or no as far as patents. Someone asked about how much the Freedom Builder Bootcamp is. It runs $1,000, and that also includes a year subscription to Jungle Scout and the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, which is $588 value. So essentially for an additional $400, you get access to this full boot camp. Yeah, like I said, freedombuilderbootcamp.com is where you can find out more information about it. A lot of nice things. I appreciate all of that. This one says, thank you so much. Jungle Scout's fantastic. When is Prime Day coming? Any guesses? Yes, my guess is September. If you've already signed up for Jungle Scout and you want the Freedom Builder Bootcamp, just reach out to us, support@junglescout.com. We'll be more than happy to work with you to try to get you over to that plan. So I don't know all the specifics about kind of when you registered and how much of that's passed or whatever else, but our support team's really good about accommodating everyone that we can. What resource can we go through to check for patents? Google Patents is a good resource. It's easier to use than uspto.gov, but those are the two areas if you really want to find out all the details about patents. If you're just trying to find out whether or not an item is patented, usually the best place is on the box, on markings on the individual product, on the Amazon listing, or on their website. And then you can also, of course, just Google it, look in Google Patents, and then uspto.gov is good. Does Jungle Scout hold annual gatherings or events or something in this nature? We always love hanging out and spending time with our audience. You know, in years past, we've done a number of just different events when we're either at larger events or at our headquarters in Austin or a number of other things. Once COVID kind of calms down and we can all hang out together again, then everyone on our email list will let them know about kind of events that we're doing. If I just signed up for Jungle Scout, how can I get into the boot camp? Just reach out to our support team. I think what you're asking is like, can you use the price you just paid for Jungle Scout as a credit towards the boot camp since it includes a year worth of Jungle Scout? And the answer is yes, we'll work with you on that for sure. On Prime Day, what do customers consider a good deal? Does it have to be 20% to capture their attention? Similar to Black Friday, shoppers are going to be looking for deeper discounts on Amazon, are kind of expecting them. That being said, I'd say any discount's better than none. So I don't know, I think use your best judgment there. If you're trying to sell wholesalers no price listed to sell the product, how are you able to determine what to sell that product for? I would probably see what the price is for that product in other marketplaces or other retail stores or wherever else it's being sold. And I think that's a good starting point. Alternatively, you could just kind of see what the similar products or competitive products on Amazon are selling for and price it around there. Why not invite a friend and get a discount for that? Good idea. We've been talking about kind of a referral program. We'd like to do something similar, but sorry, we don't have anything right now. When can we ask for reviews legally with Amazon? The request a review button is something that Amazon built. So we know it's well within their terms of service. That's the whole point of using it. You go in there, you click request a review, Amazon sends that, so we know it's legal to do so. Never are you able to ask for a biased review. So never are you able to say, only leave me 5-star reviews, or if you're really happy, please leave me a 5-star review. If not, contact me, things like that. And yeah, I think that's good, just kind of general guidelines. If you look at our YouTube channel, we recently did an entire webinar just around reviews, and you can find a lot more details around it there. We have time for about 2, 3, 4 more questions, so go ahead and drop them in the chat box. I'll try to answer a few more before we wrap up. Is the automated request a review button safe with Amazon policies? It's been out for about 6 months now, and we've never heard anything negative about it. So yes, I think it's within their policies. Does someone need to register for each item they sell on Amazon, or can we register different items under one brand? For example, did you register Jungle Sticks and the $1 Million Case Study separately? I would recommend you just sign up for one Seller Central account, and then I would recommend, if you're launching, like a few private label products, to launch them under one brand. That makes it easier as far as brand registry and getting access, and as far as some of that stuff goes. If they're different products and they don't kind of nicely go together, then what you can do is you can name your brand something relatively generic that people don't necessarily associate it with a certain type of product. This is a good question. Did Amazon change the variations bestseller ranks to all be the same? How can you find the true bestseller rank for each variation or bundle type? On May 22nd, Amazon, there was already 3 categories that variations all shared the same bestseller rank. On May 22nd, Amazon added, I think, 12 more categories to that. So now, unfortunately, more than half of categories, the variations all share the same bestseller rank. The big downside to this is there's no good way to understand what variations sell better than others. So we are working on a few ideas that we have. They haven't been released yet, but we have a few ideas how we can tell kind of which ones are selling better than others. But to be honest, it probably won't be as accurate as what it is if they each have kind of their own bestseller rank. Where can authors get more information on how to control Amazon sales, even if they sell through a book distributor? I would encourage you, if you can, to try to sell your own books through Seller Central. I don't know if the distributor restricts you from doing so or not. The big advantage of that is then you'll have full control kind of over your listing and asking for reviews and all that type of stuff. But as far as resources, I'm sorry, I'm not as familiar with selling books on Amazon as I am kind of all other physical products or non-media products. So I don't know any resources off the top of my head, I'm sorry. When are you doing the next $1 million case study? Good question. We're probably going to do another one soon. Details to be determined. We'll see how it shakes out. Is the automated request a review button only available on Seller Central? As far as I know, yes. I assume what you're talking about here, Taryn, is it available through Vendor Central? And honestly, I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure that it's not. I think in the future, they're actually gonna merge these two platforms, so then you'd have access to it. But right now, I'm 98% sure it's only available through Seller Central. So I've answered most of the questions. Yeah, looks like we pretty much answered all the questions. I guess it's a good time to wrap it up. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you would like to take advantage of that deal, as a reminder, you can find it at jscout.co/50. I'll show that to you one more time. Like I said, we don't run deals often, so it's a great opportunity to take advantage of that. Either grow your business some more or get started on Amazon. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Thank you for staying to the end, and I appreciate all the good questions. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.